with that being said, let's transition into the last segment of this show today. I don't know where this came from. Numerous messages on Facebook asking me people asking what is my favorite Ozzy album of all time. Don't know why it came up. But, over the last year, there have been some debates and some posts that I've put up that have pissed people off, about Ozzy and Dio, kind of comparing them in their careers. And a lot of people didn't like my take on it. And I always said that Ozzy had the better solo career. He had more quality albums than Dio did. They were kind of neck and neck as far as my own preferences, as far as albums are concerned, the first 3 or 4 records. But I think Ozzy's solo career was ultimately more successful. So people were asking me, even though I think Dio is the best singer Black Sabbath ever had, and I do like Ozzy's music, and I like his voice in Sabbath. So the question was, what is my favorite Ozzy album? Now, the first Ozzy album, solo album I ever heard was the tribute album, the live album, the tribute to Randy Rhoads live album. I ended up buying that at a music store. It was probably about, 15 years old maybe. I bought it with allowance money. Blown away by the song I Don't Know. I was completely blown away by that song. I was blown away by that entire live record. One, it sounds fantastic. And number 2, the songs are phenomenal. And Randy Rhoads was phenomenal. And that was my start with Ozzy Osbourne, how I really got into his solo career. But my favorite Ozzy album, and I have the Legacy Super Deluxe Edition here, is this one. Diary of a Madman. By the way, if you don't have this Legacy Edition, it's pretty awesome. The album was remastered, and they have a live show. I don't know where that live show is recorded. I never really looked or paid attention. But it's really cool. Here's the thing, folks. I like Blizzard of Oz. I would probably actually have No More Tears as a close second to this, just because of the songs on it. That album came out around the time I was like in 8th grade, and it was all over the radio. And I loved, like Mama, I'm Coming Home, and a lot of those songs, Desire, and they had the Hellraiser song that he did with Lemmy Kilminster. I love No More Tears. It's probably my second favorite Ozzy album, but Diary of a Madman is my favorite. The debut album I thought was good, but the second album is a little darker. I like the songwriting a lot better. It's kind of more of my preference. It's got a little bit of a darker theme to it. The title track is great. SATO is great. You Can't Kill Rock and Roll, Over the Mountain. I mean, every one of these songs resonates with me to this day. I actually went back and I was listening to Ozzy's back catalog. And I was like, Diary is it, man. It is. Now, Ozzy has had some great albums. He really has. And it was really actually pretty hard for me to pick my favorite album because of the fact that there were like 5 or 6 of them that I could have picked. Like Blizzard of Oz would probably be number 3 for me, at least. Bark at the Moon would be number 4. And like number 5, because that one's tough. I mean, the album that Gus G played on, probably. Maybe Osmosis. But overall, it's Diary. And I thought about it because when I go and I want to listen to Ozzy, this is the first record I'm going to. Actually, I'm actually curious where that live record, the live album, was recorded. Might tell me in the booklet. Really cool stuff, actually. Much nicer than the original booklet that they had for it, I can tell you that. Let's take a look. It was recorded. Well, the live album was mixed in 2010. Wow, this thing's old. I don't know. It doesn't really say. At least I don't see where it says this live recording was done. But really, really cool, actually. This is the album for me when it comes to Ozzy. And I go back to, I remember going out and buying this album shortly after I got the tribute album. I bought the Blizzard of Oz and I bought Diary of a Madman. I thought the songs actually sound better live than they do on the albums, but the albums are phenomenal. Doesn't really say. But it's got a cool track list. I Don't Know, Crazy Train, Believer, Mr. Crowley, Steal Away the Night, Suicide Solution. It's not the same show as the tribute show. Doesn't sound like it anyway. But this is it, folks. Diary of a Madman. I'm also curious as to what your favorite Ozzy Osbourne album actually is. And I don't really listen to Ozzy that often anymore, but I can always listen to this if I'm in the mood for it. I mean, this is one of those records where if someone mentions Ozzy and I want to hear his voice, believe it or not, even before any of the Black Sabbath stuff he did, I will go and listen to this record. Hey everybody, Tony here from the Metal Command podcast. Again, I appreciate your support. Since 1998, I have hosted this show in one form or another, starting off in radio and now in the podcast format. Again, thanks for watching, and if you like what you see and hear on this show, by all means, please hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell to be notified anytime I do post a video, and if you see this program on any other form of social media, please give me a follow there. Again, I always appreciate your support.